quite the consistent monsters. And last weekend, we already seen what Brazil could do to South Korea. So this time we're seeing Taiwan up against the challenge once again. So it's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, we've seen so far from Taiwan's roster is that they have a fairly balanced roster across all of the mods, and I guess everything. Like you've seen it in No Mod, Double Time, Hidden, Hard Rock. They have so many strong players for each and everything. Whereas South Korea so far, we've seen them have a very, very strong lineup, but they do have a slight weakness when it comes to Hidden. We have seen a few Hidden bans coming out from them in the previous time round. Although they do have a few strong Hidden players, I think it's just one of those things where they're going for the safe route because maybe they might have a few players who aren't too comfortable in some of these Hidden picks coming into this tournament.
Yeah, Hidden is definitely a very dicey mod bracket for that matter, because even if a team can have very good hidden reading monsters, put them on the roster and have them play those extremely gimmicky hidden picks, Hidden is still a bracket that tends to throw people off. It still comes down to a lot of, I guess, RNG and on the day kind of condition the players are experiencing. So it's very likely that you will see maybe even Team USA, who's probably the most favored hidden, or if not Team Poland, to ban one of the hidden maps this weekend, I'm pretty sure. Because once again, this map pool for this weekend, OWC 2017 for finals, it is the hardest map pool to come out in OWC history.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some pretty out there picks when it comes to having Made of Fire and the hidden choices, and then also things like Elemental Creation and just oh my goodness, it's such a throwback pool, but at the same time it's really, really good in terms of challenging these players.
Yeah, definitely. And the first warm-up is now being played on screen. I actually forgot who picked this. I think this may be a South Korean pick, because I think so far in the tournament, Taiwan has been picking for warm-ups nothing but Call Lazy, one of their own teammates' maps. Call Lazy is a very interesting mapper as well. He doesn't really go for ranked all that much. However, he does offer his own unique take to mapping on a lot of unranked maps, which you have most likely have seen his Adrenaline washing machine map last weekend.
Oh yeah, that washing machine map was definitely something. In the constant spinning sliders, you felt like you were washing up slowly but surely.
It is a very novel take on the use of sliders, I would say. For the match right now, it seems like South Korea has a slight edge on this map. It's quite standard, I would say, in terms of the way I see it so far. Nothing too tricky. It is, I think, worse to be called a standard map in that sense. Nothing too gimmicky. A couple of jumps coming in to throw players off. Shield and Neta breaking there. Still well within expectation, I would say. This is, after all, warm-ups is where players can see how they're doing on the day off and get adjusted accordingly. Although, not to be confused, players do tend to come into warm-up already warmed up. In that sense, they aren't going to be actually gaining too much if they are not feeling like too cold or needing one more or two more maps of adjustment. It is still very much just a have fun kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not coming into a map pool like this warmed up, then you're definitely doing something wrong. But yeah, this map is fairly. It seems like a bit of a consistency pick. So right now, the players aren't doing too bad. We've seen 3 full combos coming in from South Korea at the moment, and 2 full combos still inside of Taiwan. GFMRT had a bit of an early miss there, but yeah, Neta and Shield both missing on that jump section. Gotta wonder whether or not some of the jumps in these maps are going to throw them off just a little bit.
Yep, and here we also see Pring and Prey, the PP brothers, as we have so lovingly dubbed them. They are, of course, managing that OWC, which is, I think, their performance is going to be very much noteworthy this weekend. After all, we've already hyped them up quite a bit over the course of the past weekends, and they've shown up repeatedly and not disappointing any of us. Pring is kind of like this consistency monsters coming off no mod, and he does pretty much everything. Prey, on the other hand, suffers a little bit on the consistency side, but that's not to say he is anywhere less of a monster than Pring is, because he will just, and there's the commentator's curse already working in. Yeah, but Prey is also a very good player and a very consistent one that just came out of nowhere, really. Like Prey and Pring, nobody noticed them, but when they came out on OCWT 9th tournament this summer, and they made a pretty big show for themselves, and everyone started noticing them for that.
This is their first opportunity in the OWC, correct?
I believe so. Yes, I've seen neither of them in the past years, at least since 2014.
Yeah, you have to wonder whether or not some of the pressure might be getting to either one of them. I mean, we've seen so far that Prey in particular hasn't been having the best time when it comes to full comboing some of the maps, and Prey has also been known for, I guess, tanking a little tiny bit of accuracy, but always usually holding combo. Whereas when it comes to Pring, like so far, Pring has just been stepping up to the table. I mean, we've seen so many full combos, and not only that, but Pring has also been maintaining pretty decent accuracy on those full combos in particular.
Yeah, and there we go. See Pring with a 99+% accuracy on this warm-up pick. Against
Yeah.
EFC, which ties into Ran Yakuma on the other side on Taiwan. Also gets a full combo. However, seems like we do have Pring with a slightly higher score for this map. And the next one is going to be, I think we're coming from Taiwan.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a Koalazi map.
Oh, and we actually have Miss Magius in the chat right now. Miss Magius is one of the Brazilian players who played last weekend, and he's also was known as Blue Dragon in the tournament. In OWC, in OWS before, not OWC. But we do have one of his map sets this weekend, which is the Ghost of 313.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it is the map set, but I believe it's actually the Grum difficulty. So
Yep.
Still, it's a map set. It counts.
Yeah, it counts.
You get the name mentioned.
Yeah,
It says it in brackets.
it's like a package on its own. You kind of you buy the whole thing when you download it.
Yeah, it looks like the players are going to be subbing a few out, and then we've got Ryza coming in, Yaong and Cheese Kai as well. Looks like players are going to be rotating warm-ups just a little tiny bit, so everyone gets an opportunity to, try
Also
out how they go.
noteworthy is that Fractal Dreamers, I think, if I recall correctly, now don't get mad at me if I'm wrong, but I think that's one of the alliances used by one of the old artists. I can't even talk right now. Hellblind.
I mean, it's the song that we usually hear when the OWC starts up, I guess.
Yeah.
And some of the intros, you've probably heard it before. I mean, it might have been used in this one today.
Yeah. Well, Hellblind is one of the I believe collabing with someone else for this alliance, and this is one of his songs. So if you like Hellblind songs, do be sure to pay attention to this one.
But yeah, honestly, this is a great song, and I'm looking forward to the map as well. Unless it's one of those troll Koalazi maps, but who knows? Maybe Koalazi's gone with the more serious approach on this one, if it is.
Yeah. Well, we don't know.
Maybe
it's not by Koalazi this time. Maybe Taiwan wants to go for something actually different. I don't really know. My first time downloading this map, so it'll be interesting, of course, to see what Taiwan has to offer.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much longer before we get into this one, because we do have all the players in. Looks like we're just waiting. What are your predictions for this overall, Avery? How do you think it's going to go?
For this match?
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards saying it is South Korea, but then again, Taiwan has shown up repeatedly in the past, and South Korea is one of the opponents where they take super seriously. Like, if you have access to their Facebook page, which I think is run by a fan, the players will go up there to offer their own comments on their performances occasionally, and like the Taiwanese community, when they beat South Korea in that round of 16, like everyone was super ecstatic because that meant so much to them. South Korea is one of the opponents they take to be like their fated rival, and to bring them down, even if it's just round of 16, they already were like super hyped up for it. And this weekend in the finals, Taiwan is once again up for the same opponent on the other side. So I would say that Taiwan has definitely prepared themselves, because they don't want to having just came out of the curse of being forever taken down by South Korea, losing once again. I think they would have practiced the map very extensively. So I would say, although South Korea is favored here, in my opinion, Taiwan is not far off, because there are picks in this pool that they can utilize to throw South Korea off the balance. As we've seen that South Korea really isn't up in their A game this year in terms of consistency. So yeah, that's my take. What about you, Kano?
Yeah, I'd have to say that my take is South Korea is definitely going to have a really, really good time because of the fact that the map pool is a lot harder this time around. But Taiwan, as we've seen so far, they have beat them in the round of 16 once, so there is a chance that they could do it again, but I honestly think that they probably need to try and take it early on some of their comfort picks if they have any in particular. Because honestly, the later this goes on, the harder it will be for Taiwan to close out a victory. Because I honestly think that South Korea might be ever so slightly favored on the tiebreaker, but it really just comes down to whether or not Taiwan can kind of beat South Korea with the mod battle, or maybe perhaps they've practiced some maps, as you mentioned. You know, when it comes to a map pool like this, extensive training on these kinds of maps is definitely required, and Taiwan definitely is a team that would have done that kind of thing.
Indeed. And actually, speaking of tiebreaker, if you are not aware what the map pool is this weekend, the links are on the OWC wiki page and also on the forums. So give that a check out. And but if you're here with us now, we'll just tell you that it is Tengaku. I mean, last weekend we've seen so much hype surrounding the map pool already. Especially when I got the access to the map pool before everyone else did, so I kind of just waited in the OWC the player chat. And so when I think it was 30-40 something OWC players saw what the tiebreaker was, everyone was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I know definitely from a spectator's point of view, like people watching, the entire tournament, they'll definitely be very hyped to see a map like Tengaku picked as the tiebreaker. Or not necessarily picked, I mean, obviously if it comes down to it.
Well, we're going to be seeing it played regardless in the grand finals when the two teams, even if they don't end up playing it, because it's being a OWC tradition that we kind of have this show match going out in the end.
Yeah, that'll definitely be exciting to see, especially when we get to the grand finals. It's going to be two strong teams competing against each other, and the teams that we have left are all strong, so regardless of whoever makes it to the grand finals, it's going to be exciting to watch that show match, or whether or not it actually comes down to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, these six teams that are still with us this weekend, they are the best 6 teams of the 32. So they, of course, have something to offer. And over the weekend, I've been observing them in play. You guys on Twitch chat right now, you have also, of course, noticed their activity, even just outside of OWS. I mean, on Reddit, you've seen Wolf's score being posted. You've seen Angel Sim, or pretty much all of these players have made their own way to actually prepare for this pool, which I think is a wonderful thing. It shows that they're taking it seriously, and we're definitely going to appreciate every last bit of seriousness when it comes down to playing. Right now, I am just as anticipating of their performance as you guys are, because we really don't know how the map will play in actual practice until we've seen them being played in the match itself. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I have to say that I'm also really looking forward to it as well, because as you mentioned, if you've been paying any attention at all, some of the scores that have been posted are absolutely insane. We've seen so far that these players have been practicing them, even just from looking at the global leaderboards in particular. Particularly, I think I saw Poland having a few really, really nice runs on Koko no Sose. So,
yeah. And remember, Wolf had a hidden full combo on the Liushino Wumi, despite it not really being a hidden map. And there's Rafis also getting the 1-100 on La Vide. And actually, that's going to be the end of the second tiebreaker. Second warm-up, not tiebreaker. Fortuna Redux taken by South Korea, Pring over there, showing that when it comes down to these long maps and kind of tiebreaker-ish, he's your backbone pick to go up with once again the FC.
Pring, absolutely. Once again, just coming in and showing that strength. South Korea, if Pring performs like this, they are definitely looking to be one of the strong contenders pretty much throughout this entire tournament.
Oh, definitely.
They have shown it so far, and it's definitely something to look out for.
Yeah, Pring is kind of just a Super Saiyan of the team now. There's no better way to put it.
I mean, when you get to this late game stage of the map pools, Pring is always just going to perform outstanding on this kind of stuff. But yeah, we're just waiting for the rolls, so we have to see whether or not they've practiced their rolls. It's always very important. It's a skill mechanic. Just have to wait and see which team has practiced just a little bit more. Ooh, South Korea.
Ooh, South Korea.
Definitely been practicing that one. A strong 88 coming in from Neta.
They probably sacrificed the lamb to Aryan Jesus there, because that is an impressive roll. That means there's only 12 possible points that 12% that Taiwan can roll higher than South Korea right now.
Those odds are not looking very good for Taiwan, but it is a possibility. You just have to hope that they've practiced, It is, after all, something that requires a lot of skill and a lot of time, dedication, preparation. Just insert any word that's skill required.
Like this is probably like the most intense skill-based thing we see this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, map pools. Excuse me. No, this is the rolls. This is where
this is where and Razor also with the impressive roll.
Very close though. These teams have definitely been practicing their rolls, but South Korea coming out on top in that one.
Yeah, Taiwan is going to be banning first, and South Korea is going to be picking first.
So yeah, do you have any predictions for bans? Because I think for me personally, I'd have to say that South Korea is definitely going to go for those hidden bans once again. Taiwan, on the other hand, there's a lot of choices. It really just comes down to whether or not they want to face them on something speedy, whether or not they want to face them on something reading heavy, or maybe even a map that has fail potential. Because we've seen so far that this finals pool has a lot of fail potential. But do you have any predictions for bans so far?
It's gonna be interesting because I think Made of Fire, the AR8 hidden, is gonna be one of the most banned map this weekend, if not one of the least picked. Otherwise, the Polygon, the other hidden, is quite a technical one. I don't think it's gonna be much banned after, because if the player has a good amount of reading skill behind their backs, it's not going to be too challenging for them. It's going to be still dealing with the technical aspect more than the reading. So yeah, I would say possibly Taiwan going for actually a double time, maybe Levide, because I don't think they have the edge over South Korea on that low AR double time. And actually, no, they're going for Packet Hero, which is also a fair pick because the beginning is very RNG. I mean, holding through the beginning is probably the hardest, and after that, from the second section, the second half on, it's quite easy and comparatively at least.
Yeah, Taiwan going for that Packet Hero choice is not a bad one because consistency picks are definitely something that they want to try and rule out and maybe force Pring onto something a little bit more challenging in particular, or I guess even the whole lineup of South Korea. They definitely have a lot of players who are capable of doing a map like Packet Hero. But when it comes to Made of Fire, that's kind of an expected ban that we've seen from South Korea. They've gone with a lot of hidden bans, and I mean, they don't really enjoy old maps. I mean, we've seen from Enon in particular, Enon's mentioned that they don't really enjoy playing a lot of the old maps, and we've so far seen that the finals pool has consisted of quite a lot of that, so yeah.
Yep. And GFMRT over there, he says it writes in Chinese, let's start the bad mouthing, guys. I'm not quite sure what he meant by that, but yeah. So with both banks now, now the both banks are down the pipe, and we are going to be seeing the first pick picked anytime now. Neta from South Korea is going to step up and offer us our first pick this weekend, which is putting it in that frame context is kind of exciting. I mean, these 6 teams that are left, South Korea, Taiwan, USA, UK, Poland, Germany, all 6 have pretty good chance for themselves to take the title. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the remaining matches play out. I'm going to be casting 7 matches this weekend, guys, so I'll be sticking around and I'll be offering my own opinion as it updates throughout the way. However, that's not going to be good for my health as a caster.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, we're actually scheduled on to cast a lot of matches together, so I hope you guys enjoy the duo that is myself and Evrian.
Hey,
you're going to see quite a lot of us this weekend. We're basically sacrificing our bodies, and, we're well prepared for this, I think. Are we? You would say that?
Yeah,
I would say that.
Duel. Yeah, I'll offer the weeaboo, the weebness, and you offer your sexiness. Bring the sexy back. Okay, and we have the first map being picked. Yeah, Yoshinoumi no Lindworm. It's one by Chronicle Dungeon, who actually, I think this one belongs in one of the series that under his name. One of the other ones like Hono, the Leviathan map from 2 map pools ago. That's by the same composer.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a few Kuronaka Dungeon maps in these past few pools, and I mean, this map in particular, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these teams perform on it because it's a crazy map. I mean, we have so many crazy maps in the pool overall.
Yeah, it's very, very crazy overall. And this one in particular, because I think this map set, last time I recall actually paying a lot of attention to it, because 2015 OWC Finals, some may still fondly recall when China and USA went up to the absolute the hypest grand finals we've seen so far. Like during one of the matches, I think like when Rustbell was not playing, he just exited, goes out playing the map set, which this is just ranked back then, and gets the FC and comes back. And everyone who noticed the update on his profile page is like, "What the hell just happened, Rustbell? Did you just FC that while you're not here?" And yeah, and this one was just became known as this ridiculous reading pick that people like Rustbell do. But this year, 2 years after, we're seeing it in the OWC Finals pool, showing that as a community we have progressed so much in terms of skill, and that this is expected of the players to be able to handle now. When this entire map set 2 years ago would be unthinkable to be put in a map pool. People be looking at the selector going like, "Are you guys insane? This is absolutely brutal. This is just crazy." Last grade in chat. Time for me to take the blame.
It's good to see that the teams still share that friendly rivalry, I guess.
Yeah. Well, these two teams are rivals. I don't think they are they don't dislike each other. They actually, I think, coming across each other, they are pretty fond of this encounter overall.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it a lot over this tournament, even the previous tournaments. It's pretty much been something that's gone down in history more than anything.
Yeah, it's going to live on for tales to be told in the distant future. When your grandson discovers your old dusty tablet from your warehouse and asks you, "What is this, Grandpa?" and then you shed a tear in your eye and you sit him down by the fireplace. Let me tell you a story, my grandchildren, about back in 60 years ago. There was a lot of people known as circle clickers. And that's going to be the beginning of a beautiful story down the memory lane.
Yeah, that'll be sitting there, telling your children a story. Back in my day, we used to use tablets.
Exactly. It's going to be
whatever they're using in the future is completely different.
Yeah. What is a tablet, Grandpa? Is it as effective as the touch screen?
Oh no.
Okay, first up, Yoshino Wumi Lindworm. We're already getting into it. We're already starting off a lot of space patterns.
Early misses from Prey and Flask.
Yep, and of course Rucker will be stepping in. This is he does miss, I will admit that. However, he is known as one of the best reading players in the entire game.
My goodness, and, misses all across the board.
Across the board.
The only person
still they're missing as well.
As I say that.
Yeah. So combo is already set right now, so everyone is back to square one in terms of where they started. But Prey and Rucker will be able to live on a little bit longer. Oh, Prey actually also living through, but he just broke now. This map is going to be one of the maps where even getting 200 or 300 combos is going to matter a lot. So let's wait and see how the players will play out. I think accuracy-wise, we're going to be looking at the players and going, this is something to look at as well. After all, looking across the board, the highest accuracy we have on the field right now is Rucker, 96.7%.
Yeah, this is going to be a thing of pretty much all the finals pools that we've seen so far. When you play maps like these on ScoreV2, and not only that, but just the style of these maps and just going back and forth between so many different types, it's going to be insane to see all the accuracy drops, all the combo drops, and even some of the fail potential on some of this. But yeah, so far South Korea dropping all their combos, and Taiwan as well.
Yeah, there's no one surviving, and then there were none. This is like a Agatha Christie novel. But right now, South Korea does have 200,000 points in lead thanks to Prey and Pring there, basically carrying the team behind their backs once again. And Rucker, despite having the highest score on the field, was not enough to make up for his team alone, and he's going to concede the first point over to South Korea.
Yeah, on maps like these, it's pretty much a battle between which team can, hold multiple high combos rather than looking for a full combo. We've seen so far that, across the board, 300, 400, 250, 386, my goodness. This map is definitely challenging these players so far.
Yeah. Also, on my side chat here, Skystar, the mapper, seems to be betting all his money on South Korea, saying if South Korea can lose in this engagement, I'm going to be writing my name Skystar backwards from now on. What was Skystar backwards? Rat Six. Yeah, if you wanna see Skystar now be known as Rat Six, do give your shout out and cheers to Taiwan, because I personally would be up for it. Everyone for Rat Six, and now Taiwan has to pick next, and I think it's going to be interesting to look at how they're going to respond to this just now.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, despite seeing some of the players have really, really nice performances on these maps, again, this is one of those things where you can kind of retry them. And not only that, but when you play in a tournament, it's so different from playing in solo. I mean, as much as we've seen, Wolf and some of the Polish players as well have really, really good performances on a lot of the maps, when it comes down to playing these in the tournament, it's completely different. There's just so much more pressure, and not only that, but sometimes you're just not quite in the zone or as much in the zone as you would be when you're playing solo. I mean, we've seen as well, Bubbleman SS'd Leaf Eye, for example, when he was playing in solo, but then when it came down to the tournament, I wouldn't say he did poorly on it, but it's definitely, when you see something like an SS and then you see the tournament performance, it just kind of changes things up a little tiny bit. So it's a whole different playfield.
Very much so, very much so. The next map is going to be a hidden pick, Polygon. This one is the other hidden pick that's not being banned, and this one is fairly interesting. Lots of technical aspects to it. Reading and focus is going to be the key to the game here. South Korea, I think they're going to have to offer up their best hidden roster in order to counter Taiwan, because with people like Rucker and Flask stepping in, Kolesi also joining them alongside them. We're just waiting for fourth player, which is GFMRT. I mean, the Taiwanese players are pretty good with reading, and that's already an understatement. So we're just waiting to see how they're going to play on this map. But South Korea will have to really go on the extra mile and overextend a little bit in order to take this point away from Taiwan, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think that Taiwan is making a smart choice here, because we've seen so far that South Korea hasn't really enjoyed a lot of the hidden picks, and forcing them onto hidden, despite this being quite a weird one. It's a very technical style of map, and this is something that we could definitely see Young perform really well on.
Yeah.
But I think Taiwan's strategy right now is to try and force the rest of the players on South Korea into a bit of a corner.
Yeah. Well, definitely, because South Korea is kind of composed of different edges, and you're trying to find out where the soft spots are. So if you can target soft spots and basically the weakest links of the team and capitalize on their weaknesses, you're going to be looking to take a few points at least from these monsters. Already up in the very beginning, we see some early misses coming from the South Koreans, but then again, this is also to be noted that it's fairly long map, so anything is up to change from this point on. And quite expected of the Sona Fujimori song, starts off with fairly awesome beats and goes into patterns that are just equally spaced throughout the way. Once again, we emphasize the aspect of reading here, despite it's not AR8, this is anything but AR8, very modern age, fat, high AR kind of mapping. But as we see here, the key is still getting used to that the pattern placement on hidden. Still, Yang here, the only one holding the high combo on his side when he's up against both Rucker and Kolesi on the other side with full combos remaining. We see here that Taiwan now has a comfortable lead with about 300,000. However, South Korea right behind their back. Yang, they are making time for his team to make a comeback.
Oh boy, this is pretty much exactly what I was talking about. I mean, so far we've seen South Korea struggling quite a little bit, but Yang is, as I mentioned, still holding on to combo here. It was pretty much Rucker and Koalzi versus Yang, but now that Yang has the only full combo, this could be an opportunity, but drops that. This will be going in favor of Taiwan, unless we do see some fails towards the end. Koalzi's actually dropped a lot of HP. This could be... There's still an opportunity. Rucker is dropping very low. Oh my goodness, Rucker has failed.
Yeah, Rocket failed on my screen as well, Flask as well. But is that what happened?
Is that a team fail?
Is that a team fail? And yes, I can confirm that on the MP link, that is indeed a team fail. The first team fail will be seen this weekend, I believe, with many more to come. Oh my god.
Oh damn. That was means so good for Taiwan as well.
Yeah. And by tournament rules, a team fail counts as a win going over to the other side, which means South Korea now leads 2-0, and that was just very unfortunate. Yeah, Flask telling us it is node locking, which is a very reason, I guess, because node locking is very real in Hidden when everything is just jumbled up when they are matched near each other. This is very unfortunate, but we gotta accept the results and the outcome of things.
Yeah, that was very unlucky for Taiwan. They're having all their players fail at the exact same point. I mean, you could have seen it where some of them fail and then revive and then all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was quite a surprise because it was definitely going in their favor. As I mentioned, like South Korea was struggling quite a bit besides Young, but we still had very strong combos from Rucker, Koalazi, even Fast held a really nice combo at the beginning as well. But my goodness,
yeah, the 3-4 combos
holding on.
Carried some weight in the beginning, gave Taiwan like a comfortable 300,000 plus lead. But Yan definitely showed up for Taiwan on that pick just now because even just by, I guess, holding on to the very end, not failing, that already helps South Korea. But if everything were to, I guess, come down to everyone passing, Yan there with his incredible 900 plus combo is definitely going to speak volumes against Taiwan. Genzo man in the chat blaming it on us casters. Oh please, are we going to be taking all the blame this weekend, Kano?
We're always going to take the blame.
We're always.
That's how it goes. Because we always talk about the players, and then the hard section comes up.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a reason like we get paid by these players to talk about the other side during tournaments, right? I mean, I already made like what $300 costing this all I've received from the players. They just transfer me on PayPal with a message. Everyone, you know what to do. Signed, toy. And South Korea is going to be going for double time now. Kirie, or Kyrie, however you want to pronounce it, the AR9 pick is going to be coming in and be testing the players on the AR 10.3 aspect. Ayoka in the chat is asking, can you tell me what node locking means? Node locking, okay, so node locking basically is that for O's, it's programmed in a way, it's a sequence of nodes you're hitting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say your 5 nodes coming up, and the system is not going to recognize any hits on 2, 3, 4, 5 until the previous nodes have been clicked. So you cannot hit node number 2 without hitting node number 1 first, and that is basically a lot of players how they go for things when they know that a lot of mishmash is coming up. Not to worry, because I'll always be hitting the first node first if I click on the stack just at the right position. However, if you misclick and move on to the node number 2, what happens is that the node will shake, vibrate a little bit, telling you that you gotta click on the earlier nodes first. So that click wasn't registered, and the players can end up just misclicking a bunch of nodes as a result because of that vibration, the node locking as we call it. Which really is just an unfortunate way of saying, you know, I misclicked one node and that led to the domino effect of every other node being screwed over. That's the best way we can put it. So it's a game mechanics playing against the favor of the players here for Taiwanese side.
Yeah, node lock is definitely something that would be quite a pain, especially on a map like that. We've seen it. I mean, it caused a team fail, and it could happen again throughout this tournament at any point.
Indeed. This pick, double time. Before, I guess South Korea and Taiwan were both known to be double time monsters, but this year I wouldn't give them the title, at least because from what I've observed from South Korea, plus what I were expecting from the Taiwanese roster. Taiwan's missing some very good double time players, namely HVAC225, DJ Fuduji, or I think is now known as my angel Haruna. Both players are very good with double time and high speed players, but this roster is still fairly strong, but not as strong as it could have been. That's all I can say. Okay, and so going into this double time pick, this by South Korea, Kilie.
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting double time picks, as you mentioned, on the higher approach rate side. Fairly alternating style of map, though. Enon will be coming in for this one as well as Ran Yukumo. We also see Rucker stepping out for Koalazi. Or
Yeah.
is that Riser coming in?
Razor is here, yes. I wasn't paying attention in terms of who switched out for whom. But right now, South Korea does take a comfortable early lead. We have seen one too many miss from the Taiwanese side. I think what the teams are doing here is that they rely on a couple of backbone double time players and other players who are okay with the map, asking to offer a decent enough combo and not fail. They'll be stepping up and to, of course, offer that extra combo to help the team. In this case, I guess we can clearly discern that Yawn plus Pring are pretty much probably their backbones. Plus, we do have on the Taiwanese side, Flask and Rang Yakumo who just missed. That's not a commentator's curse. They missed after sorry, before I mentioned their name. So yeah.
Yeah, Pring is still holding on strong. Yang as well, following just a little tiny bit behind, as well as Neta following behind Yang. But so far, ooh, as I say that though, Taiwan dropping 2 of their major combos. This is definitely going well in favor of South Korea right now, as we do slowly but surely approach the halfway mark.
Yeah, I did post a joke post a drinking game for OWC Finals weekend earlier on my social media, and from the looks of it, commentators curse as one item to be noted on there is going to give the viewers and the players of that drinking game alcohol poisoning before long. And halfway points now, we're at halfway point. Pring still holds on to the full combo, which is absolutely monumental. Right behind him, Yawn, a couple, I think 70, 80 combos behind, but he is going to be there for his team as well. Across the board, low accuracy, actually Koalazi dropping down to 70s. That is absolutely not ideal at all. And I think South Korea already established a hegemony on this with the lead. So they are going to be taking this without too much issues. I don't think this map has fill potential at the end. It still just comes down to stamina.
Yeah, fairly sure this map remains relatively consistent towards the end as well. I don't think there's any major spike that could cause some sort of fail, but so far we've seen that South Korea has been performing really well in these double time picks. Because we've seen it in the previous pools. They've been doing really well. They've been liking the double time picks, and this is definitely a reason for it.
Yeah, probably South Korea went back and revisited their strategy and skill and prepared accordingly. I would say that both teams probably came in here with a lot of preparations being done, and yeah, it's going to be coming down to how they perform in actual practice.
My goodness though, Yang is still holding onto a full combo here. 1500 combo.
Yeah.
Still the highest accuracy in the lobby as well. I mean, Yang is one of those players that we've also seen have a lot of these really, really interesting double time FCs on some of these alternating style maps.
I think I'm ahead by a margin here because they already finished playing on my side. How's it going for you?
Things are still going for me.
Well, I know there's a little lag in between, so I guess yeah, I'm trying to hold on saying anything so I don't spoil the stream. But yeah, on my side, the players have already finished, and the score does go to South Korea, 3-0. With absolutely monster performance from Yawn and Pring. Yawn managing a 2k plus combo on this map, and he, as Flask mentioned in the chat, yeah.
Was that actually a reverse choke?
Yeah, that's reverse choke, yes. Yeah, Young almost 1v4'd the entirety of the Taiwan roster, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was actually an outstanding performance despite having that one early miss coming in there, but even the accuracy as well. I mean, if South Korea progresses to that, that map might be something that other teams may want to consider banning against them.
Yeah, I mean, I can already see that like American players are probably waking up already and watching this match as it's ongoing right now and taking notes because like these players are looking to study their opponents anyhow they can before they get down to playing them eventually. And we've seen that happening in the past. OWC is people do take this extra carefully, and they end up banning the maps that they see the other team having too much of an edge on. And the next pick is going to be a Fremont pick, Fastest Crash. Oh boy, I love this song and I love this map. RLC is an awesome mapper, and I think this is absolutely one of his finest to come for the, I guess, the new era at least. This is ranked fairly recently compared to most of the map pool, which is composed of a lot of old maps. So this one ranked in, I think, 2015 is going to be a treat comparatively.
Yeah, this map has definitely been around for quite a little while. I actually think it was re-uploaded, if I'm not mistaken, because they had a difficulty name change. Because I remember RLC had this map. I think this might have even been from 2014, if I'm not mistaken, but either that or definitely early 2015, because it went through a name change on the difficulty. But this map, as you mentioned, is definitely something very, very spicy. We've seen so far that RLC is just one of those crazy mappers. Always makes outstanding maps. They always just play so well, they feel so right. And when you have a map and a song like this put together, it's madness.
Yep, this one has a lot of patterns that just sent you through the players of really emphasizing the idea of the fastest crash. It is basically a twist and turn every now and then, followed by a lot of technical reads. Space patterns coming into play, of course, as well. Everyone loves them. That's, of course, with a sort of irony. But despite everything, this is still a fairly standard map compared to a lot of other maps in the pool. And one of the few maps that we can say we expect to see FCs from.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be expecting too many hard rocks on this one in particular. Most teams will probably be going for the safer choice of hidden. But if we do see anyone opting for hard rock, it's going to be quite an interesting sight. I mean, there is a potential for an FC on something like that. It's not the hardest map, but there's not many hard rock FCs on it as it is.
I mean, the hard rock aspect comes into play where a player does feel considerably more comfortable with the hard rock modification as compared to the hidden modification. Yeah, so I'm talking about players probably have played hard rock since they began playing this game, and the hidden is their bane of existence. So like Idki, although that's a fairly poor judgment call because I think Idki this year has shown up repeatedly on hidden as well. So, but I would say he still favors hard rock more than hidden overall.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is that it's a fairly comfortable BPM for a lot of hard rock players. Like 210 isn't too fast. If anything, it's kind of the sweet spot for a majority of people. You see a lot of hard rock players these days playing anything from 190 up to 220, if not more, if not less. I mean, most of the hard rock players these days are just insane on everything. So if you're comfortable on hard rock, you may as well go for it. But in a tournament, it could be a little bit risky.
Seems like the players are just getting the... Oh, okay, so Cheese Guy's going to be stepping out for Prey. Yeah, I think Prey and Prey will have their... This is a fairly steady footing for them, this map. I don't think it's something too out of their league if they can FC... Or if Prey can FC Fleshbound. Although, speaking of Fleshbound, I think the closest equivalent we have for this map is probably the Ghost of 313, which is the Forgotten map. That's not being banned, so South Korea could always opt for it because I don't think we're going to see too many FCs from that, if any FC at all. That's a fairly difficult map, despite it being like this nerfed version of Fleshbound.
Yeah. And as we do see here, we have both sides going for two hiddens, opting for that safe choice. Prey and Netta going for hidden here. GFMRT and Fast going for hidden, and the rest of the players in the lobby are all going for no mod. So as you mentioned, this is a relatively consistency pick more than anything. It's something that definitely tests your endurance, and sometimes even your stamina as well.
Yep. The BQI is not particularly high, but it's not particularly low either. I was actually expecting Rucker from Taiwan to be stepping up for this, but then again, maybe he wants to give the new players a chance to make a show for themselves. This is, I guess, fairly difficult map as well, so maybe he's not prepared on this, which is, everything's fair in this map pool. And we've seen that South Korea is, of course, offering their very finest roster for this. Yon Netta featuring the PP brothers. They're going to be looking to capitalize
Yeah, those PP brothers, they are a force to be reckoned with on the side of South Korea. So far we see Prey having a little tiny bit of a rough start, but still managing to hold on to combo, which is very important here. GFMRT coming in with an early miss. Netta also responding with another one, so that's 2 hiddens dropping combo. Young dropping there. This is going to go in favor of Taiwan to begin with, as we do approach the first break of the map. Prey and GFMRT responding with another miss just before that break as well.
Yep. And we do see that the next section is going to be coming up, which is a fairly difficult section to hold. Some combos will drop here for sure. Here, the back and forth sliders kicking in. Players are holding on still, but the patterns are not going to be letting up. This is just the beginning. We are going to be going to seeing more harder patterns to come. Yawn there with incredible 99.72% accuracy.
Yeah, Riser also on the other side as well with a 99.5. Was actually at 99.9, but just dropped down during the slider section. Young still holding on to this slider section though. It's absolutely insane, that accuracy.
Yeah, now Taiwan's giving a show here. This is what we're expecting from Taiwan, really. Like, this is the exact Taiwanese team that we have been hoping to see for. And on the board here, we do see that Pring is still holding on for his team, which is very expected from the Pring carry. But on the other side, Flask, Riser, and Shield are going to be forming this defense line against him. We're seeing that 1/3 of a section remaining. Let's see how this remaining of the map is going to play out. This next part is where we speed up things a little bit with the pattern placements and go into some very interesting ones to test your stamina. So now the players just have to watch out for holding the combo instead of going out there and play some difficult patterns. The patterns coming out from this point are fairly standard, nothing too tricky. But still, they can throw you off if you're even just a little bit more worn out.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the pattern placement coming up here in particular is going to be testing the finger control of these players with all the sliders into streams. And we're seeing it a little bit, a few of the hidden players in particular dropping some of their accuracy on this part. GFMRT and Netta in particular. Still holding on though. But this is a very convincing lead for Taiwan right now. 650,000 points and growing.
Absolutely so. 600,000 plus is very convincing in this stage of the match. I mean, everything aside, JFMRT is already recovering from his earlier one miss, and he's showing incredible consistency with that 1k combo plus now. Shield does miss, however, but on the other side, really, it's not going to be making much of a difference as long as Riser and Flask holds on, which they are going to. And we're closing into this final bit of the map, which I think is fair to say now that Taiwan has got this for this pick.
My goodness, what a solid performance from both of those teams.
Yeah. We do have 2 FCs coming from Riser and Pring. And look at that for Young, would you? That's a 100, 150, and 1 miss.
Despite the huge score difference, there are so many close scores on both sides. Pring coming in with that full combo against Riser. Flask actually happened to miss right at the end there, but had hidden on, so that is quite an impressive performance. But Yang, as you mentioned, the 1 miss, 1x100, 150, that accuracy is absolutely insane. But Riser coming in with that full combo, 99.6. My goodness, this is just insane.
It's a very good pick for Taiwan. They definitely have gone on to study the map pool and decided that this is one of their strengths to capitalize upon South Korea. I mean, Riser there with a very incredible full combo. I gotta give it to him for this map. Also Pring, of course, not to say that he's anywhere less impressive. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be like the only couple of maps, one of the only couple of maps we see for this pool that we can expect to have FCs coming in.
Yeah, there is a possibility that Taiwan might want to stick to some of the maps in the Fremont pool, although Outbreak is one that's kind of gimmicky in a way. It's that AR10 pick, which is CS3, but if you do put Hard Rock on it, CS 3.9. Still very, very hard to aim, but a lot of the triangle jump patterns are some things which might challenge them just a little bit. Although the other handsome pick in there, that choice might be a good one.
Alright, so now we are back to South Korea with the pick, and let's see what South Korea has to respond with.
Damn, South Korea going for Koko no Sosei. This is going to be exciting to watch. It's pretty much... I'm very curious to see how it turns out, because the beginning of this map has a really, really tricky square jump section, which you're probably going to see a lot of misses on in particular. But a lot of the nature of the patterns throughout this entire map are so easy to miss on.
Indeed. This is, I believe, AR9 OD7, an old era mapping, coming from, of course, the community's beloved Satin, who mapped this full plantation from the previous map pool. This one is being heralded as one of the hardest map to FC in the olden days. It still very much so is, because it's got lots of high-speed slider patterns, followed by just, like you said, of course, Kano, geometrical patterns: squares, triangles, pentagons, hexagons, octagons. I don't think there's any octagon. I just made it up on the spot. Yeah.
I mean, you just got to find a shape and you just put it into a map. That's pretty much all it is at this point.
Yeah. So soon enough, with those lasers coming, I will be seeing some hyperspheres coming be in there as well. The 4-dimensional mapping, literally.
Oh my goodness. I don't even want to imagine having to try and breed things like that. But yeah, we're just waiting for teams to finalize their rosters. So far we have Prey, Pring, Netta, and Gomo will also be coming into this one on the side of South Korea. Taiwan has Kowalski, Rucker, Flask, and Shield. Very strong lineup.
I can expect them putting up some old players here, Kowalski and Rucker, for example. They've been around since when this map has been ranked, so why has this been mapped? So yeah, this is really down to like them bringing back their olden days.
I mean, we can't rule it out. A full combo is definitely possible on a map like this, but the chances are very unlikely. We may see some high combos, particularly 4-digit plus, but well, we're not 4-digit plus, but above 4 digits in terms of going past the 1,000 mark. I was going to say getting to the 10,000 combo would be a bit much if that was even a possibility, but not on this map.
No, OWC 2018 Finals Map Pool League. It's going to be the Unforgiving Marathon.
I mean, even then, you still don't go to 10,000 though.
It's gonna be like get your tiebreaker. Everyone's like, oh god, okay, 50 minutes of just pure gruesome 3-star mapping comes down to who doesn't miss. I would love to see that. Okay, so getting down to the business here, it's Koko no Sosei on Nomad.
Yeah,
already some back and forth patterns. Everyone love these. Oh, yep.
A lot of symmetry, a lot of geometrical patterns. A few early misses coming from the players. Prey, Shield, Kowalski, Flask all dropping.
Yep, Satan the Mapper. What did I say, Satan? I meant Satin. Satin the Mapper. Of course, I guess looking at this map, you can call him Satan if you want to. But he focuses a lot on, like we repeatedly mentioned, the overall symmetrical aesthetics. Meaning that the map overall should look pretty decent symmetrically. In that you see a pattern on the left, you see a pattern reflecting that pattern on the right, following. So it's quite a standard for the old era mapping. And right now the players are just missing left and right. Yeah, not gonna be seeing any full combos apparently.
I believe Flask might still be holding on to one.
That is yeah, you're right. I think he may still be holding on. But then again, everyone else pretty much at this point has missed, and I think we're coming close to seeing an act battle, if anything, in the mid stage before moving down to calculating the combos overall in late stage.
Yeah, so far, despite South Korea having a few early misses coming in, they are all holding solid combos. But as I do say that, every player has missed on that one section there, which is pretty much to be expected. That part is insanely difficult to combo. Commentator's Curse coming in strong, but it's I wouldn't even call that Commentator's Curse when it comes to a pattern like that.
Yeah. Tony Way 1552 in the chat says it's the anti-human map. I would agree with you. This is very anti-human. Like whoever design this is pretty much looking at saying, like, I'm too sick of this peaceful world. Let's do something to burn it down. And they came together and made this map set.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's not even a case of taking humans into consideration. It's like, how well will robots perform on this?
Yeah. And AlphaGo will be looking at this going like, are humans drunk or something?
Yet another square pattern claiming so many combos, but Pring held on to that.
Yeah, and that's gonna make a difference
Combo.
because Pring, we know what Pring can do if you allow him his leeway to go through and do things. And he saw the scoreboard and knowing that he's the only FC left, and he probably just is grinning to himself and saying like, "Don't worry, guys, we got this. I got this for you." Meanwhile, on the other side, the Taiwanese players are still not out of this yet. Only half of the map has gone, so it's still tons of room for Pring to miss if he chooses to do so. And like we're still going to come down to, I think, a fairly close game overall.
Yeah, still many difficult sections throughout this map to come. It's very interesting. They all pretty much come around 300 to 600 combo apart from each other.
Yeah, just enough so you will miss for that and pay the price of not paying attention enough. Again, this kind of map you can never pay enough attention. Even in the old days, like the players who can manage this are probably like the ridiculous monsters like PZ, Wolf was known as White Wolf back then. Some other like Dungeons, Nearby, who can names can bring back some tears of nostalgia to some players already. And see that the symmetrical mapping coming in, absolutely beautiful. This does not fade regardless of time. You'll always be able to appreciate how beautiful these maps look. Oh, and the square pad is kicking once again. Pring still holding on. And that is just gonna be monumental for his team. Pring absolutely once again doing what he does best, which is to carry. Like I think Pring at this point can just put on his job application on his resume. Like what do you do? What do you say is your greatest strength? Well, sir, I would say I'm pretty good at carrying my team throughout the way. When my teammates need me, I'll be there to support them. And oh god, that's actually a very good answer for a question like that. If anyone wants to ask that. 200,000 points in lead, of course, thanks to Prey and Pring there. Prey also managing a 900 plus combo, and that is, I think, going to be the nil, the nil hitter for Team Taiwan here. As we see that across the board, no one is there to challenge except for Flask, and he is fairly low on combo side. So South Korea, I think, will just be able to finish this with 200,000 plus lead.
Yeah, we saw a few 1k plus combos coming from both Pring and Prey. Not quite sure if there was a few other players because I didn't see just before the drops. But yeah, as you mentioned, this one will go towards South Korea. Almost a 200,000 point lead for them. Oh, Pring didn't actually get a 1k combo. It was only Prey. But yeah. Pring coming in with that 945, Netta as well with a 938.
Yeah, Pring there, of course, also showing up with an accuracy where it's 98+%. Yeah, overall, very good pick for the South Koreans. Wait, Pan, what the hell? Whose turn is supposed to pick? I think it's Taiwan's turn to pick. Yeah, Taiwan's turn to pick. So now South Korea leading 4-1. Yeah, Taiwan's going to have to once again looking at their map pool and seeing what they can do to counter South Korea here. Obviously, South Korea has a lot of strengths and the edge is over Taiwan. So Taiwan has to look out for those thorny edges and go for the ones they can comfortably take a point on from South Korea. There are maps in there that can do that. And however, Pring and Prey there, of course, answering to everything Taiwan has to throw at them. Absolutely monster.
Yeah, I wonder where they're going to go with this one, but so far we're actually seeing them go for Amazing Break here.
Yep, Amazing Break. Nomad pick, this one's by, you know the mapper, we all know the mapper, Monstrata.
Oh boy. Interesting start when you see Gomo saying that he hates the map. Time to leave this match. Alright, they'll be swapping out Gomo for this one.
Yeah, exactly the kind of response Taiwan needs to see. And Firebat92, otherwise known as Angel Sin, is going to be stepping in. Yeah, overall this map is very balanced, I would say. It favors both consistency and raw skill, so the team with a higher skill set overall is going to be having a leeway here, whereas some patterns in there will demand the team with the lower skill sets who may not be as comfortable holding those combos to just drop on the spot. And South Korea here, Yon, Neta, Pre and Prey, pretty solid roster. Taiwan side, Rucker, Cole, Izishu, and Flask. If we choose to go with this, of course, it's fairly fine as well. Gotta see how they place in the actual match, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely very curious to see how they do perform on this alternating style map when they're on a little bit more of a comfortable AR. When you see something like the other double time pick that we went through, obviously when you have a 10.3 approach rate, it changes things up a lot. So them being on a comfortable approach rate, we can definitely expect a better performance from Taiwan in comparison. Not only that, but the ending of this map is fairly tricky. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's fail potential, but I mean, if you do happen to miss the entire part, you may fail. There's a very small chance, but you may fail.
Yeah, there are tons of fail potential maps in this pool, I would say. So yeah, it comes down to whether the players have practiced the map pool beforehand.
Yeah, and there's also a few difficulty spikes throughout this map as well. You'll probably hear it throughout the song in particular when the song starts to build up in pace. Things start to get a little bit more tricky, so we might see some combo drops coming in there. But as you mentioned, this is a fairly standard map, and we're definitely going to expect strong performances from both sides.
Alright, so I'm guessing they're just waiting on Firebat to join the room.
Yeah, all that PUBG. It's definitely very difficult to get Firebat in the room here.
He was just about to get chicken dinner, and then his teammates like, "We need you! Get the hell out!"
No dinner for Firebat.
And then he dies by zoom shrinking. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing he's not going to be joining us for this pick. But nonetheless, going into this Nomad pick, amazing break.
Yeah, still a strong lineup for South Korea here. Nonetheless. But this is Taiwan's pick, so they are expecting to take this point away.
Alright, already we're up some some technical patterns here. Oh, the space stream's kicking in. But the players are holding tight. Early misses coming in from Neta and Flask, however not to worry as we do see the map is still a length away to go. Okay, and we're going into this first main core section. Soon enough. Oh, actually, wait, I may be a little bit too fast for the stream. Yeah, I am. Okay, just check now.
Yeah, we're kind of around the 400 mark.
Alright, gotcha.
But yeah, seeing a miss from Nether coming in just before that. Prey also missing shortly after the build-up.
Yeah, this one looks a lot alternating heavy, so I guess it comes down to whoever actually has the better alternators on his team. I don't think anyone can single tap this. If you can, please let me know and I'll introduce you to the Guinness World Records. I know there's some connections in there. No, just kidding. Alright, 1/3 of the way now, I guess, and we're seeing that Taiwan has a small lead, not too much yet, as we do see that the South Koreans are still holding on right behind them. However, if they cannot muster a miss from Taiwan soon enough, this is going to be looking quite in favor of Taiwan for this pick.
Yeah, something to definitely pay attention to right now is Yang's AC. My goodness, 99.89.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's like a 100, if not 2.
But yeah, so far Taiwan is also showing a very strong performance on this. We have 3 full combos against 2. Netta and Prey having just a little bit of trouble with this. Flask is even holding a nice 900 combo to help support their team as well.
Yep. More misses coming in. Shield and Netta both missing. I think that's reflected on stream now. I have to be extra careful. But still, at least 20,000 in favor of Taiwan. Closing the second quarter part. We're moving on to the final quarter of the map. Wait, what just happened?
We might have had a disconnection.
Yeah, I think the one South Korean players may have dropped. And there's everyone on the Taiwanese side.
Yeah, it looks like Prey might be having just a few issues. We may actually see a score submitted still though.
Yeah, we'll have to see the final MP link, but as for now, he's not appearing on our screen, so he may have dropped. Okay, so Pen in the room confirmed that the Prey indeed dropped, and because we're already past the 30-second point in time, that's not going to be enough to muster a rematch. But Yang and Pring still going strong with their full combos. Do you have enough time to come back? I mean, there's no combo holding on the Taiwanese side. There's only so much of the map left. This is where the accuracy starts to kick in, and with Yang's incredible 99+%, I think that's gonna matter a lot in the long run. In the upcoming short run.
Yeah, I mean, you still have Pring and Yang holding on to full combo here.
100,000 difference now. 100,000 only. I mean, is this enough time? 90,000 goes in. 80,000.
It's still possible, even with 3 players.
40,000. 30,000. No. Oh, and it's just so close, but yet so far 30,000 of difference. Oh wow! If Prey had been around for that, I mean, even if he just broke everywhere and held only 100,000, that's still going to be a win going over to South Korea. But Taiwan will take
with
this
the
one.
Insane performance, coming in with a 6-100 full combo. Yeah. Pring as well, also with the 2001 combo, but having a 1 miss right on that last section. My goodness, that was definitely South Korea's point, providing Prey wouldn't have DC'd.
Yeah, but Prey DCing there, that gave over to Taiwan right on the spot. But Pring and Yang with an incredible run even after the teammate DC'd, and they almost brought it back had they got maybe 3 to 5 more seconds in the map. That is incredibly clutch.
That's definitely a point that I would have to say is deserved for South Korea, but Taiwan might be taking that unless we see some sort of rematch. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think we're the rule says 30 seconds rematch. Yeah, the first 30 seconds is the safe zone. But after that, to prevent people from, of course, going out there and abusing the system, we have to have some sort of safety net in place.
But yeah, Yang coming in with another notable performance for the entire tournament. That is an insane score. 6-100s on that map.
Yeah, Yang is just saying, "Oh my god, I want to die." He realized that his efforts for that map may have just gone down the drain because of Prey's disconnection. Yeah, pray for Prey, everyone. Press F for Prey. Press F to pay respect. Alright, good to see that Prey has once again joined us, which is always a nice thing to see that players are not out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, even Koalazi was having a little bit of trouble understanding, wait, we won? Question mark?
They probably saw that Yang and Pring held a 2K combo and went well, GG there goes our chance of winning. But I would say that, not never say it's too late and just give up, because you never know until the final node's being clicked, whether someone on the other side will fail whether or not someone is going to just choke up the combo right when you need it. And like things like this do play a lot into tournament, especially one like OWC. So just hold on for your team, if anything.
Yeah, and I mean South Korea do have their pick now, so this is their opportunity to pick something that maybe.
South Korea is still looking very strong, I would say. Like Taiwan manages to squeeze out 2 points, but South Korea is still with a 4 points. That's 2 points in lead, and they can of course, they can of course just go out there and do whatever they want, and still have a comfort zone to wiggle around. Rocker in the chat saying, "Pray, please restart your game." He's offering a little bit of professional advice, I guess.
Not really sure what we might see from South Korea coming out next, though, in terms of picks, because this map pool is just so diverse. You could honestly pick anything.
Yeah, you can take it however you want, like whichever direction you want to go to. There's always a map for that, which is showing that the map pool is very well balanced. We have jumpy picks, we have alternatings, we have burst strings, we have high speed, we have straight up just WTF.
A lot of old gimmicky style maps as well. Things that a lot of players aren't really accustomed to.
Oh, not accustomed to is a very big understatement. I think many maps here are just straight up unthinkable by the players when they saw the map pool.
I mean, yeah, in a tournament scenario at least.
And okay, next map pick is going to be from the South Koreans. They're going to pick La Vide.
Yeah, going for another double time pick. Not a bad choice for South Korea. They showed strength on the last one, so why not go for it again,
One of the most well-known songs from the Zekbach, Epic of Zekbach, and this is going to be also a lot of players recognize this as an old map, old song. We do have a very old ranked set in the game right now. It's being very well played and well recognized, but this one's a different one. This one's... Wait, what's this one mapped by?
I think because it's the Gao or Go diff. I'm assuming that's probably the mapper. I think I've actually seen the mapper
No,
on.
it's a different one. It's a different mapper. That's not the mapper's
okay.
name. Yeah. I remember, like, I checked out this map like just a couple hours ago and now I forgot them. Rip me. Just quickly go over and see who mapped this.
Yeah, honestly, I really love this song. It's just so nice. It's so pleasant to listen to.
Oh, okay, it's by Exceed. There we go. That's the old mapper. Yeah, it's a very good song to listen to just straight up. It's very melodious, very fun to your average ears. And this is also the only remaining double time pick, so once this is out of the way, we'll be having no more double time or hidden maps. Okay, it's like actually Go WWW. Exceed is only the one who hosted the set. I stand corrected.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm fairly sure I had heard of that mapper.
Yeah.
Before. It's probably a mapper before my time, at least. But I came around in 2013, so I'm still fairly new.
I recall the mapper as well, but I just don't know if it's a similarity in name or it's actually him who is the mapper. I mean, diff names sometimes can overlap with an actual player's ID, and you end up going
that's definitely true. I mean, it's so confusing when you just have so many out there IDs and diff names and whatnot.
Yeah,
getting
or
to this
like
one.
Yeah, well, like this old map, the Yorunaku Usagi, one of the versions, is mapped by the mapper Smoothie, and I remember Smoothie World, also a mapper and the player, got
Oh
very angry
yes.
personal message because the guy confused him for Smoothie when he's in fact Smoothie World. Okay, going into this map, double time pick. Straight up, we've seen some streams already. This one is fairly long, it's very stamina based, and I would say this one favors a player who can handle the high BPMs in general, because there is a very long stream in the end that can throw people off, straight up failing them if their stamina's not up there.
Yeah, something to note about this map is that it is, I believe, 255 BPM, so some of those burst streams can be quite tricky, especially if you haven't warmed up your fingers just enough. And not only that, but the nature of these patterns. One of the older mapping styles we've seen so far, some of these patterns are, giving the players a lot of trouble.
Yeah, indeed.
We're seeing a lot of accuracy drops in particular coming in, not only because of the streams, but also the patterns.
Yan there with the only one holding a 98+% accuracy, showing that he's of course very well versed in the accuracy game. Oh, and the very largely spaced pattern there, linear pattern, the stripped up Enon. And actually, with that being, yeah, there's no one holding a decent enough combo on the Taiwanese side, and the Yang is going to be able to take off with Pring here, given that they don't miss. And I think, yeah, that's a miss coming from Pring.
Yeah, Pring just before the break there, but with all this Taiwanese side dropping, so far it's pretty much on Yang to maintain a combo here in order to bring South Korea back into this one. Neta's also following up with a nice 270 combo.
Yeah, it's a fairly slow section where people can build up combo, so it's going to be, I think, leaning towards South Korea to take on the next section. And of course, also as we mentioned, watch out for the ending, if anyone's going to fail. 80,000 lead in favor of Taiwan still. However, we're going to see that change, I guess, pretty soon. Here's some streams coming in.
Yeah, a lot of misses coming from all the players so far. Enon is still holding on here, though.
Yeah, we do have everyone missing there, but Riser held on a little bit later, but Enon's still going strong.
Something to note as well is that this section, as much as there's been drops all over the place, the accuracy drops could determine a score difference, but so far Taiwan is going to be taking that one by 100,000.
Oh, yes, indeed.
With that section getting a lot harder, despite there being no combos, if players actually manage to drop accuracy in comparison to one side, that's going to be the big difference maker as well, because obviously you still have 30% accuracy taken into consideration.
Right, indeed. And actually, we've seen that South Korea, Yang there with 700,000, making up more than half of this team. Actually, no, wait, almost half of the team score by himself. And Taiwan there with across the board fairly split into the score. Everyone is contributing almost evenly.
Yeah, Yang has been showing insane performances on these double time picks so far. That 98 accuracy is absolutely insane on a map like that. The amount of speed and just even the reading you require for a map like that is insane.
And yeah, that's going to be the third point for Taiwan. They are closing the gap, and South Korea probably was not expecting to yield this point. And now that Taiwan has to pick again, and they can, of course, looking to tie up the lead and go from there. And they're going for Aiwo Chikaishi Hime Kazari, the IOList map.
Yeah, this is yet another Fremont pick, and so far they've taken one of the other ones. This is one of the, I would have to say, a little bit more comfortable ones. Kind of similar, not quite the same, but kind of similar in terms of difficulty to the Fastest Crash. Whereas when you see something like Outbreak, that is a very, very different pick in the Fremont pool. So this is one of the ones which we could see Taiwan probably take yet another point on. But it definitely favors either side. It's just, this could go back and forth. It really comes down to whether or not you see a few random misses coming in from either side.
This is a fairly new map set also in terms of style, and more standard, I would say, compared to maps like Fastest Crash, where still a lot of Fastest Crash is still a lot of reading based and pattern handling. Whereas this one is more of a considered just a straight up, I guess, almost farmy if you want to put it that way. There are some players who go for this map just to get a PP, but it's a very good sign, very well mapped, I would say.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Handsome maps. Whether Handsome is doing something edgy with the maps or whether or not they're doing just a relatively standard map, it's always nice. Always nice to play.
Yeah, this one is 200 plus BPM and so pretty fast, along with lots of 6+ star, higher 6-star patterns, jumps kicking in to make sure that players are constantly on the edge and just looking to hold the combo, because they all know that even if just slightly being unaware, they will be tripping up. And on free mod especially, this one tests both your mod mastery plus your ability to handle the maps such as this.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to see the same route as Fast as Crash, where teams are probably going to opt for only 2 hidden on each side. Going hard rock on a map like this would be absolute insanity. But yeah, fairly consistent map overall. It's actually 210 BPM, so it's the same as Fast as Crash.
Flask and College is like, Gomo? Are you alright? Gomo? They're actually writing it in the Chinese kanji equivalent of the pronunciation, which actually somehow spells out touching the dog.
I hope that says in petting the dog, but yeah.
Yeah, petting the dog. Sorry, not touching, petting.
It's alright, I know sometimes words can
Yeah,
get a little bit
it's
lost in
6 a.m.
translation.
here. Give me a break. I can't even think straight. Hashtag the things you do for OWC. Lots of Taiwanese players and supporters cheering for Taiwan in this pick. Hopefully they're going to be once again showing their edge on their own pick. Oh wait, it seems like Gomo Server is requesting a little bit of extension to try to get, I guess, more players coming in for this. They probably realize that along with their Pring and Pray Brothers combo, they need more than just that. They of course need someone else to take on the combo building role. Then again, like people like Yon, Pring, and Pray have been showing up tremendously over the past weekends for South Korea. Like their contributions to the team are just straight up undiminishable. Actually, no, we're going in for this pick now already. Okay, so we'll be seeing Gomo Server with Hard Rock and Pray, Rucker, Flask all going with Hidden.
My goodness, Gomo coming with a hard rock here.
Yeah, that's very
This
interesting.
Gonna be
Well, then again,
interesting to
maybe
see
you just
how this
want
one
to deal
turns
with
out.
the Hidden, which is fair, I guess. But this is a very difficult map to play on Hard Rock, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
if you
last
play
year,
it, I was going to say, if you play it better on hard rock than you do on hidden, it's probably worth going for it. And I think it's not a bad choice for them to try and leave Pring and Yang on no mod, hoping that those two can go strong with a full combo.
yeah, I think they will deliver actually.
Yeah, so far Koala's the only player to miss in this lobby right now. So a bit of a rough start for Taiwan, but there's still plenty of opportunity for misses anywhere across the board. And yeah, with Gomo running that hard rock, it's definitely going to be a play to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, he's also handling a fairly good accuracy. And we do know that Hard Rock has a slightly higher multiplier compared to Hidden on Score B2, meaning that his score contribution is nowhere to be overlooked compared to Yan. Oh, and Yan actually does drop. Sorry, I mean to Pray, who is on a Hidden. Here's the first core section. How handsome does this map is fairly standard in terms of difficulty increase, where the first chorus is fairly lax, and then we go into the second chorus a bit harder. The final chorus hits the home the hardest.
Yeah, Gomo also dropping there as well. There goes that hard rock full combo. Having a little bit of trouble with some of these jump patterns in particular. Yang with that miss is not looking good for South Korea. This is going well in favor of Taiwan right now.
Yeah, but then again, the Pring and Pray, the PV Brothers are still holding on. I think they are just banning on those two to hold combos here, because because don't think that Yan, that was a like a purposeful miss. That's just an accidental one. There's no purpose miss, of course, but Yan probably could still muster up a very good combo. So they just need to hold on those two combos and hope that Taiwan will give them the opening.
Yeah, something to note as well while you were talking, Arian. Rucker dropped. So it's Flask and Riser versus Pring and Pray.
You're right, so it's a fairly even game now. But again, overall combo advantage slightly favors South Korea. Yep, Call Lazy is fairly low on Young, but only by like 20. And there's another drop from Gomo on Hard Rock. But his high accuracy is though very impressive. He just could not handle the patterns. Like the aim is too much for him, I think. But him being there and taking out the Hard Rock as the second modification, I think that's all he's there for. He may be a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, I think South Korea is definitely going for the sacrificial lamb strategy. And right now it's not really paying off in their favor, despite the fact that Pring is holding on. Prey has missed as well.
Flask has missed as well. But then again, right now it's Riser versus Pring plus Yang versus Core Lazy. And now we do have Rocker right behind them building combos. This is a slow section. But then again, we're moving on to this final course, which is the hardest in the entire map.
Yeah, there's still potential.
Points in difference.
There's still potential for a comeback here. It's very, very unlikely right now because we do approach the break, but if Riser happens to drop combo here, as well as Koalazi, we may see... What, Pring?
Wait, was that Pring? Oh, Pring dropped a slow section!
But Rucker might have also failed here!
No, but he's going to be able to recover. There's still a lot of map to go. And there he does. But Yan there behind him, challenge with 9, moving to the 1k combo range. Is it going to be enough? But Call Lazy there to counter him with his own 1k, and that's going to be neutralized and give Riser the way to straight up lead the team into a point here. Final jump section kicking in. Let's see anyone will break here. No fails, I don't think so. Rocker does break. Oh, and so does Riser. But Call Lazy is there to defend the lead. But he has to, all he has to do is to hold on.
As well as Koalazi. My goodness. Both of those players showing such strength. Young did happen to miss right at the end there as well, though. But
yeah,
oh my goodness,
300,000 points in favor, going over to Taiwan 4-0. Taiwan has managed to tie up the lead and is now back to South Korea with the next pick. Absolutely clutch, I would say. Core Lazy there running WTF, he was not expecting that sort of performance, but his contribution was so incredibly high because that combo holding to the end neutralized any sort of game Yang had. And Yang could have made a difference, really, because 200,000 was a very much makeable score at the end. But Core Lazy just did not give him the amount of breathing room he needed. And with that, yeah, that's going to be South Korea time to respond. They're looking like they can possibly lose the edge. We already have people in the chat hyping up for tiebreaker.
Yeah, Taiwan bringing a few points back.
Riser, definitely.
Despite the unlucky disconnection from Prey earlier, you'd have to be very, very tilted if you are South Korea coming into a tiebreaker after something like that, but we just have to wait and see how the rest of this match does go. South Korea has their pick now. They could go for something that they're comfortable on, get that point out. Yeah, the performances that we've been seeing from these players so far on these maps in particular are absolutely insane. Gomo was having just a little tiny bit of trouble on the Hard Rock, but even then, doing as well as they did, just my goodness, I am speechless when it comes to this.
Like Gomo's accuracy was also very good for Hard Rock. Like for people who miss as much as he did, like you'd expect his accuracy to fall like down to like 93, 92%, but no, he held a high accuracy pretty much throughout the way. And that showed that his combo drops were either due to one, just being not in the mood to play Hard Rock on the day off, or two, the patterns are too hard for him to aim, but he could still manage the rhythmic aspect. And we're just waiting on South Korea to bring up their fourth player and also their next pick. But yeah, also, one thing to note here, if we do go into tiebreaker, I would say South Korea would likely take it because Taiwan is not really known for playing tiebreakers in the past. I think the strongest tiebreaker team in the entire OWC right now is probably USA. They practice almost around tiebreaker, but for this pick, we're gonna see Outbreak. This is one of the times where I say that the difficulty is Doomsday. You think of Doomsday the player, but he's not the one who mapped it.
Yeah, this is going back to what you were talking about earlier with like, you know, mapper names and map names themselves, like the difficulties. Getting kind of confused. But yeah, this map is fairly gimmicky. It's just AR10, CS3, but not only that, there's a lot of really awkward jumps, a lot of back and forth snaps and triangle patterns. You're probably going to see a lot of misses all over the place on a map like this.
This one is mapped by the mapper Strategus. If you have not heard of the name, maybe you have heard of the map set I'm gonna hide away my love. Hide away my love is the title. And that was a very beautifully mapped map set, I think. Despite it being hard as hell to play.
Yeah, Strategus is definitely a mapper who's made a name for themselves in the past couple of years, I would say. We've seen maps like Feel and Sky come out as well.
JFMRT is joining Taiwan for this pick. So I'm guessing that Rucker Shield and Kolezi will be here to stay. Shiskai stepping in for South Korea. You know, not to really throw the burden upon him, but Shiskai hasn't really been showing up this tournament, and coming into here, either one, he is especially prepared for this map, like it's one of the gimmicky picks he could do, or he's just here to fill in for a missing fourth person. I hope it's a former though, because the latter would really put South Korea at a disadvantage, especially for a map they just pick themselves.
This could be one of the maps that Cheeskai might enjoy in particular. We've seen Cheeskai come in on a few of these random odd maps.
He does come in when you least expect him, that's all I can say.
It's almost like the dark horse of South Korea more than anything.
Also, Toichi, is it just me, or is one of the new Christmas backgrounds featuring the Pippi especially creepy? Where Pippi just has a ridiculous, like, Yandere look on her face. I'm not quite sure which one is showing up, whether it's showing up on stream or not. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the new seasonal backgrounds. It's always nice to see so many talents we got in the community. These are all from not the old staff team. You know, like you think Pepe could draw, but no, Pepe is a programmer. He doesn't draw. Locktop doesn't draw. You know, like they are very much on the side here, and so these are all from the community. The artists, the artful talents we have, showing up for the game and making us having a little bit of holiday spirit here. And of course, with this being, of course, also the final weekend of the OWC series, meaning that we won't be seeing each other next weekend, I want to, of course, wish everyone watching the OWC right now, and also the players and the staff, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays wherever you are. Hope that you'll be enjoying this festive occasion. And I know Kano will appreciate a White Christmas, but he's in Australia. So it's gonna be, I guess, a beach day Christmas for you.
It's alright, man. Santa makes his way down here somehow. He just does a round trip. But I mean, we don't even really have many chimneys as well. It's not a very common thing to have that here.
Yeah, I mean, even if you do have chimneys, Santa probably doesn't want to go down them with all the cobwebs and black widows in there.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fear of the spiders. He usually just comes to the front door, and you know, we leave the milk and cookies out, and it's all fine from that point onwards. He's satisfied, so. But yeah, we actually see Fireback coming for this one as well.
Finally, I guess he finally got his chicken dinner. So we'll be going into this Fremont pick. It is going to see Cheeskai and Prey with Hidden on the South Korean side. The Taiwanese side, we have GFMRT and Rucker on Hidden.
I mean, not a bad choice for these players to opt for the Hidden here, because, I mean, it doesn't change the approach rate at all if you opt for Hard Rock. The only thing it makes the map harder in terms of aim, really. Like, as much as it's a very small change. 3.9 CS versus 3 can make that much of a difference on a map like this with snap jumps and all these weird triangle patterns.
Yep, this map has a lot of gimmicky reading patterns to it. Here's the triangles! We're not even Monstrana, but we're seeing triangles, and here we go. into the absolutely relentless speed up section, first speed up section actually. We're already seeing a lot of breaks coming in. Actually, only Prey is holding a full combo now. Everyone on Taiwanese side has missed earlier, and this map is going to just get harder from this point on. But also noteworthy is that it's a fairly short map, already a quarter of a way through, 1/3 of a way now. So, combos can really make a difference. However tiny they may appear, they're going to really speak volumes.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be expecting a lot of misses on these snap patterns in particular, as we've seen so far. Taiwan struggling with the first one. My goodness, though, they absolutely nailed Koalazi and Rocket in particular, nailed the back and forth there.
Yeah, but Pring there is going to be the one to hold the driving seat now. He's the bus driver for this map, apparently. And we're seeing that, actually, across the board, low accuracy. Only Firebat holding 97 plus.
I mean, right now, yeah, Pring is in the bus driver's seat, but Firebat has actually got the highest score on the side of South Korea and is building a combo. But it looks like Pring will be taking over during the second.
Pring, of course, always the backbone carry for his team. But then again, a quarter of a way left. Anything can happen here. I forgot if there's a fail potential near the end.
It's all slow towards the end, so yeah, I don't think there's any fails coming in at all. This is going to be a convincing lead for South Korea.
Like we said, it's a fairly short map, so any combo, however tiny the amount may be, is going to matter a lot. Final spinner, spin to win.
Yeah, spin to win. Can you make
400,000 points of difference?
Spinners.
Yeah.
Spin harder, Taiwan. You can do this. Koalazi just opting for the draw strat. But yeah, definitely strong performance by South Korea as expected. It is their pick.
Yeah,
I mean, Fireback coming with a 98% accuracy on that as well. Pring with a 488 combo, 1 miss. It could have also been a slider break as well, but I believe that might have just been a 1 miss. So very solid performance there.
And now it's Taiwan's turn to respond. And they're going for Night of Nights. Oh, this one is interesting.
Oh boy, the CS 6.5, my mistake. It's CS 5 originally, but when you put Hard Rock on CS 6.5, this is going to be a very, very big test of aim and precision on these players. It's pretty much just a test of control and precision for the most part.
In fact, the original map is AR9 OD10, meaning that the players are going to be facing this deficit in OD window, where before they could just completely rely on even it's just 0.3 or 0.5 of a difference, but now the difference is negatives. So players are actually encouraged to take on Hard Rock, because Hard Rock OD10 doesn't get any higher, and you can just straight up jump the AR to AR10 and rely upon the basic Hard Rock mentality to kick in. However, CS 6.5, like you mentioned, Kano, is going to be one of the deciding factors here. As we see that this map is very aimy, with some quintuplets coming in here and there. Quintuplet coming here and there. And the final section does gradually get harder, and there may be some nerves kicking in right at the end. We may see some fails, but this is, I think, an overall raw test of Hard Rock skill and aim, most importantly.
Yeah, it's something going to test the player's aim and ability to pretty much be controlled throughout the entire map. It's fairly relentless on aim, and as you mentioned, it does get harder towards the end, so players are definitely going to need to have that endurance for it.
I absolutely love this song. I mean, we have a couple of ranked Big Night of Night songs already from the old days, and this is, I think, the newest one. But you never get enough of the beat. You kind of just shake it.
It's always a catchy tune, and as you mentioned, this is a much more modern take on the map. So this is a map set by Alicat, actually.
Yeah.
It plays very differently from the previous one that we've seen. In terms of rhythm, it's kind of similar, obviously with a little less of the even note streams and bursts.
Yeah, this one, before I was thinking the old one where the Liwa got an HD HRSS on it. That was absolutely crazy. But it was mapped very differently. I think that was the old Night of Night was also featured last year in OWC, if not the year before, as a hidden pick.
Yeah, definitely one of the signature maps that we've seen. Pretty much, it's very well known. DJ Pop version of that as well. AR8.
Yeah, DJ Pop.
So, going back to the old throwback when you have the AR8 meta. Oh boy, bring back that meta.
Seems like the South Koreans are still wanting to adjust the roster maybe a little bit. They're saying just a second. I remember a couple of years ago, actually like last year I think, if not 2 years ago, the Chinese player Fujiwara no Moko assembled a six monitor setup for OWS, and the CS4, a standard CS4, looks so ridiculously big because it's composed of 6 monitors, and you're just like, okay, I guess I can play CS7 on this. Yeah, having a
I'm
like
just so
that
confused as to how that would work. What?
I think it still comes down to aiming, but I mean, you do see the bigger circles, so that could be considered an advantage. But for now, for this pick, we're jumping into it. Hard Rock across the board, which is of course why it's in a Hard Rock pick, Hard Rock pool. For this stage, early miss is already kicking in quite considerably actually. We see that Enon and Pring holding the full combos on the Korean side, Taiwanese side, Flask and Rucker.
Yeah, not only that, but playing a map like this with Hard Rock alone, a lot of these players, I would have to say, are probably a little bit more used to playing with hidden Hard Rock on a map like this, especially if you're going for the PP score in it in particular. But so far we're seeing very strong performance from Pring and Flask. It's pretty much those two battling it out right now. Koalazi and Gomo as well, also battling it out with very similar combos, but besides that, we're seeing drops all over the place. Koalazi dropping there as well. Flask and Pring still holding on. Gomo as well with 330.
Gomo actually with 99+% accuracy on Hard Rock.
Yeah, that accuracy is insane coming from Gomo, as well as Flask with 99.2.
Also, you see some of those parts where the queens kick in, and there's a little bit of like a 90-degree turn, where I think that's a very interesting tribute to the old mapping, the old version by DJ Pop, where we see lots of those kick in.
Yeah, for the most part, the map starts out relatively consistent, but as we've mentioned, it is quite a test of aim, pretty much all throughout the entire map. But when those quads and those doubles kick in, that's when accuracy drops or even potential misses might start happening.
Yep. Now the lead is still being fairly close. Taiwan and South Korea, each mustering one full combo, Pring versus Flask here. And the final section is about to kick in. This is where things start to get really ridiculous. Doubles here to demand some accuracy drops. That's where Gomo can really make a difference with his 99+% accuracy. And we're seeing that the final bit is now kicked in. Oh, Flask with a miss.
Yeah, Flask dropping there is not looking good for Taiwan at all. This is going to be Pring pretty much taking this one away so far.
Yeah, if he doesn't drop soon, then Taiwan will definitely suffer as a result. I mean, the only reason that they hold on a little bit longer was because Rucker had that high combo to begin with. Oh, and Pring does drop.
There is actually fail potential here towards the end. We could maybe see some fails coming in, even a team fail.
The hardest pattern section here, hugely spaced. All of these patterns are.
Prey might have failed.
Oh no! What happened there? I don't think I have to go back and revisit the MP link.
We're gonna have to refer to the MP for this one because it looks like Prey and maybe even Enon might have failed at the end there.
Yes, we do. We have 2 misses coming from the South Koreans. Prey and Enon both failed at the end. That's what we're talking about. The high spacing fail potential. That's what kicked in and screwed over the South Koreans. But I wonder, could it have made a difference? Let's do the math here. I think they probably would have made a difference had they both been there. 419 plus 434. No, even if they both passed, it will still be Taiwanese win. So yeah, that's gonna be going over Taiwan regardless.
Wait, that's really confusing. Hold on a second.
No, because Pring dropped soon after Flask had dropped.
No, so they ended up failing? Did Enon and Prey fail? Because
both Enon and Prey failed. Yeah,
it's just strange because the MP link doesn't say that it's a fail, but it's technically a fail, I guess.
Wait, what? The MP link on my side showed it's a fail.
I mean, I must be having a bit of a bug there. But...
it's weird. Could you refresh the page and let me know?
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly refresh. I'm still seeing the same thing, but I do see that the score difference is there, so that's what counts.
I'm gonna refresh as well and see how things maybe update on my end. No, it still shows that Elon and Prey failed. Yeah, even Logtap's confirming it with me, so I'm guessing it's just you. Well, okay, so I guess that's well, you know, like regardless, it would have been a Taiwanese win, so it doesn't really matter. But for this next pick, it's going to be Elemental Creation. This is where we really want HVIC225 to be on the Taiwanese roster. I mean, he did have the old square on this, and coming to play, I think the Taiwanese would definitely love to have his presence. But South Korea here is looking quite nice, as we do have Yawn, quite a monster for this map coming into play. GFMRT may have disconnected. Still waiting on him. And of course, every time I mention HVIC225, the Taiwanese players grieve a little bit. HVIC is not just a hero for them, but also a memory of an era. But I'd say, you know what, guys, let's not get bogged down. Don't be sad that things are over. Be happy that things happened. It's the best I could put it. Also HVIC, I believe he's only gone now because he's busy with school, and plus he is having some hardware issues, so he could still be back in the future. I mean, when Ruchi went AFK in 2015, people were quite sad, but he's around now still, just not as active, but he's still around, so I guess that's something.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing. And I believe we've actually seen HVIC submit a couple of maps as well, so there's always been that in the works.
Yeah, HVIC is pretty active in the mapping scene still. He does do GDs here and there every now and then.
Yeah, but no, I'm really, really looking forward to Elemental Creation. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I want to see this picked so many times against all these teams. It's just such an exciting map to cast overall because it's just so challenging. The nature of these streams and the patterns, not only that, but with the approach rate, it's just a combination of everything. Like, this challenges everything. It challenges your ability to stream, your ability to read, your ability to aim. I'm not entirely sure if there's actually fail potential toward the end of this, because I know that there's streams pretty much all throughout the map, but whether or not there's a stream right at the end which could throw off some of the players, who really knows? I guess we'll have to find out. I'm not sure if you know of that, Evrian. Do you know if there's a stream at the end of this?
I think there's a stream at the end. I think there are this one's ranked, and there's also an outranked version that's mapped slightly differently. I think that may be what got you confused there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so here we go into the Elemental Creation, the streamy no-mod pick. Oh wait.
So far we're seeing early misses from Shield and Ranya Kumo.
I mean, Rez also
missed
missed
misread
there.
on that jump pattern.
Give MRT as well. Oh wow, like across the board, everyone is just missing here. I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. I think this is still a fairly standard pick, but overall the players are struggling with this pick. And I think that may be just due to how we perceive things are different from how these players are actually doing it in the actual match itself. But still, right now the lead is still favoring South Korea, by even if just a margin. We do see a Gomo Cyber stepping up for his team.
GFMRT is also holding a really, really nice combo here as well. And as I do say that, they break so many breaks. GFMRT, Gomo, and Shield all dropping their Netta, Young, or just Netta now, still holding onto a combo here. Could we curse it again?
Yeah, Netta is going to be the key to their victory. Super, if not, yeah. I mean, it's very close. Halfway point scoreboard shows both teams are probably going WTF. I thought they probably I thought we've screwed
My goodness, Ranya Kumo dropping on that slow section.
That's not expected. Oh my god, this is not good.
That's the thing, they've been trading rivals all throughout this entire match so far. We saw Gomo versus GFMRT, and then it was Netta versus Ranya Kumo. Now it's just Netta in the driver's seat right now with this 500 combo coming in here.
Yeah, Netta probably wasn't expecting to carry, but he is doing exactly that right now, as we see that everyone on the board is not holding even close to the combo he is. Firebat on his team is the only one holding a 300 plus combo, and actually they both drop.
Yeah, some of these streams are causing quite a lot of fails across the board.
Yeah, final section, will there be a fail potential? I don't know that, but Shield definitely failed. Can he recover in time?
Taiwan having a lot of trouble bringing back any combos at all.
Yeah, so
South
they
Korea is
actually
showing
let on
such
fail
strength.
here. No, this one is going to be a spinner one, a spinner finish, not a stream one, which I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that ending actually doesn't have a lot of fail potential at all.
Nope, not at all. But there was a couple of streams before that could have been a fail. Maybe even a team fail. I don't know. But I
Yeah.
think it's going to come down to whether or not you can recover from that section. Maybe Taiwan is, Taiwan's picked now, so Taiwan's chance to retaliate. But South Korea are looking at a tiebreaker situation if Taiwan wins the next one, and Taiwan has to respond, of course, to Pring if Pring decides to go all out and aim monster the tiebreaker map, which is
Yeah.
Tengaku.
Yeah. So far, I mean, oh my goodness, Neta stepping up on that map in particular.
Yeah, Neta definitely
one-
carry. Holy.
Veteran player coming in strong on one of the veteran maps, you'd have to say. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that disconnection from Prey earlier, South Korea could have actually had this in the bag. But we could potentially see a tiebreaker if Taiwan gets this next point.
Taiwan here will definitely have to think hard because it's the final pick regardless. And South Korea looking to tie up the just take it back home. They are not going to be interested in playing another tiebreaker, not on a map like Tengaku, where everything is anything can happen. And
when you have the monster that is Pring, when you see the performance on Fleshbound on the last tiebreaker, as Taiwan, they would be shaking in their boots.
Yeah.
Seeing the tiebreaker being picked.
And we're going into this Kakuzetsu Thanatos. This one was from a previous OWC, but as a no mod pick. For this one, we do see it on Hard Rock, however.
Yeah, this is quite a technical pick actually. A lot of 1/3 streams in particular, so players are going to need to readjust to a rhythm change. Not only that, but the aim requirement on those rhythm changes is substantial. When you put Hard Rock on, this map is going to be a test of rhythmical ability and also aim. Like, these patterns are very, very awkward.
Yeah, overall, this is a fairly difficult map. Tests a lot on players' reading abilities and consistency. On Nomad already, this is hard enough on Nomad, but putting it on Hard Rock, it's like, I don't know, frost adding on top of the snow. Really not what you're looking for in a map pool. But it is in here and it's not being picked, so Taiwan Taiwan is going to have to think of something to do here. Lazy saying never Tengaku, but do you really have a choice? If you want to win, Tengaku is definitely something you have to do right now. Well, you have to get before that. You have to get this next pick to start with.
Yeah, I mean, here we were like, if it came down to the showcase of Tengaku in the grand finals, we could actually see it here in the very, very first match of the finals.
I was not expecting this really. But if that does come into play, you know.
Well, the thing is, when you have so many close rivals, I mean, South Korea and Taiwan are showing it right now. When the scores are 6-5, these teams are very, very evenly matched, even on a pool like this. And then you have future matches as well coming up. You have United States versus Poland. Even United Kingdom versus Germany is also going to be a very, very close one.
Go asking,
fairly evenly matched.
Go ask you, do you want to see Tengaku? Twitch, do you want to see Tengaku? Let's hear it.
Yeah, this is your time to shine, Twitch chat. Whether or not you're going to be going for South Korea, for them to close out the victory. Or you're here for Taiwan to bring it back to a tiebreaker. Make it known.
Type Ima if you want to see Tengaku. Alright, here we go. Hard Rock pick, match point for South Korea. This is going to be Kakuzetsu Thanatos.
Yeah, this map has so many difficult sections. We're probably going to see combo breaks, I would say, once every 300 combo or so.
I don't know, like Gomo is
the 1/3 sections come in.
Yeah, Gomo has been showing up really on Hard Rocks today. So, all eyes on him. Never mind, he was breaking the beginning. But
commentator cast coming in strong already.
I was going to say that he really showed up for his team on Hard Rock today, regardless of how things went.
Yeah, we've definitely seen strong performance on Hard Rock from Gomo so far. I mean, going for the Hard Rock on that Handsome map in particular was absolute insanity, and still had a very, very strong performance nonetheless. Definitely plenty of opportunity to bring it back. Oh, that actually could have been lag?
Yeah, I had a lag as well.
Yeah, I think that was lag. Okay, so Gomo is still holding combo.
Yeah, I think so. I think, or is
no, there we go. Now he's broken. All right, let's go ahead and hope that wasn't the lag this time. But oh my goodness, all the players on the side of South Korea have dropped so far. Rucka, Shield, and Fast still holding onto combo here. Riser, the only combo drop from Taiwan. It's still fairly early into the map.
Oh, and very bad. They're over-clicking on the stream. Actually, well, maybe under-clicking. He was looking to stop, but he under-clicked one note. And that's going to give Taiwan a 300 combo lead on 3 players at least. Let's see how well they can capitalize on that. But for now, it's South Korea's turn to, bring this back, because this map really is just a test of everything. Like, it's got space patterns, it's got doubles, it's got quadruples, and it's basically just a test of, you see who can, break the least. Even Young, one of their Hard Rock backbones, is having difficulty with this reading pick. And I'm talking about, like, he is a player who you go for tricky gimmicky maps like this. Like, No Bullet Susume, that map, he handles that map extremely well, and you'd expect him to also do similar on this map.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this is definitely a bit of an uncharacteristic performance from Young coming in so far, but there is still a chance for South Korea to make a comeback here, but Gomo is dropping combo as well. It's Netta with the only large combo, and that's even then just a little bit shorter than Riser's. So far, Rucka, Flask, and Shield are still holding on to full combos here, though.
As for field potential near the end has a speed up, slight accelerando, but it's not really anything too big of a deal, as we do see that it deaccelerates pretty soon and has a little bit of safety net before going into the ending. Rucka, they're filling the entire stream, and that's going to really, well, he has a lot of time to recover, so nothing too much to worry about here.
Yeah, plenty of time to recover, but so far I can actually see the shakes and some of these curses coming in. When you're at this point in the match, you're going for a tiebreaker or you're going for the win. The nerves are going to be kicking in at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun about missing on that slow section there.
Yeah, they're already building a combo. He's going to be there if Flask for Shield gives him the chance to come in. Rucka once again breaking, but he's not the one to hold the combo here. Young breaking again. What the hell's going on here? But then, it's going to be a nail in the coffin.
Flask and Shield are showing no signs of giving up whatsoever. There is still a small possibility that we could see some random fail coming in towards the end, but it doesn't look very likely at all, as you mentioned, Arian.
Yeah, it's not a section 2 where you expect to see fail, but then again, could we? But then the lead is almost a million in difference. Flask and Shield showing up for the other team so incredibly well here. And everyone on South Korea has pretty much just straight up collapsed on this map. Here we go in the final speed up.
Flask is just showing unrelenting force right now, still holding onto a full combo.
This gonna be a full combo? Oh
That's
my god!
That's a full combo coming in from Flask!
On the Hard Rock pick, 1 million scoring difference. Taiwan is gonna be bringing this to a tiebreaker. Tengaku will be played for this first match of this weekend. Oh my god!
Flask and Shield. My goodness, those players.
These
showing
players,
strength on that map. Even Riser as well coming in with a 1k combo as well.
Yeah, I was not expecting this. I was expecting no full combos this weekend, period, on this map. But there's Flask proving me wrong on the very first match. Even Gomo on the other side is like, holy, like, what the hell is going on with these Taiwanese players? Flask the carry, indeed, Riser, indeed. But then again, everyone on the Taiwanese side showed up incredibly well for this. And now
we're getting into Tengaku here.
Yep, time to experience
the tiebreaker.
Uncompressed fury of a raging Japanese god. Oh my god.
I mean, the difficulty name pretty much speaks for itself, man. You cannot go wrong with this. This is going to be absolutely insane. We're probably going to expect to see Pring coming in for this one. As for the performance that we saw in the last tiebreaker, a full combo, I wouldn't say is very likely on a map like this, but we can definitely... I would have to say we're going to have to keep a lot of eyes on Pring, especially based on the previous tiebreaker performance, and just the player overall.
Pring does step in for this map, which I think speaks volume for the other team already. Firebat92 being the one, the only one with the 1-digit ranking on his roster. He's going to be, of course, also here to just see if his raw skill can make up for the difference. Gomo Sever possibly be staying. Yon, I don't think it's going to be Yon's pick to step in. He's probably going to bring in like Prey or even Chiskai maybe. Yon is, before he's known as my aim sucks, he does not like the idea of his aim being considerably lower than his accuracy.
Yeah, you have to wonder, this is where the nerves start kicking in for both of these teams. Things are going to get very shaky.
Yeah.
And when you're up against the uncompressed fury of a raging Japanese god, that's not something you want to be dealing with. But yeah, this map is definitely a very, very large test of aim. Not only that, but also some reading ability when you have some of these... I guess you'd have to say they're sort of overlapping patterns in a way. The back and forth in particular, very, very hard to read sometimes. But yeah, from a spectator's point of view, this is definitely going to be a very, very enjoyable tiebreaker to watch. As for the players, I'm not sure if they're going to have the best time in terms of playing it, but we'll just have to see how it does turn out for them.
We're deriving our entertainment on the expense of their suffering. And Yon actually does, like you said, does come in.
I mean, this is sort of one of those things where you could compare this to, I guess, a sport such as rugby or maybe even American football, where, when a player gets tackled, they might get injured and not have the best time. So it could be something kind of similar to that, except without the injuries, more so.
Yeah, comes down to whoever can break the less. I mean, combo here is really superficial in the context of this map. Sure enough, having a high combo will mean good things for your team, very much so. 500, 600 will make a huge difference on this map. But overall, we're still looking at whether or not you can just break less and maintain even just fragmented combos of 200, 300 range. That's going to give your team a fairly lead. The other team decides to break more. As we see that Ren Yakumo and Shield following Flask and Rocker will likely be the roster here for this final pick. Pring Yon, Firebat 92, and Gomo Cyber for this final pick. I mean, after this map, one team will proceed on and one team will be saying goodbye. So this is the final map for these two teams on more than one, in terms of more than one aspect. Yeah, I am absolutely absolutely stunned by the fact we're seeing this already. Some Taiwanese players already saying, if the Taiwanese team win this, I will not sleep late for a month. If the Taiwanese team win this, I will be a good student and study for my exams. Taiwanese players, please win this for your people. They can use all the fulfilled promises you can give them.
It's going to be very exciting. Yang, as you mentioned, definitely a player that we didn't expect to see on this one, but it could be one of those things where they just want to try and go with a solid roster and see how they perform on it. I think they're honestly going for the Pring carry. They're praying for the Pring carry, despite there being no prey in this at all. But
I mean, really, because even if we say that Yon's aim is not as good, but his aim can still put 99.999% of OW's players to shame. I mean, he was one of the old one-digit players. He has remained one-digit for a long time until becoming relatively inactive and not farming as much PP. But before that, he was still considered a monster of a player for a long time. And I've seen him in tournament, pretty much is a death sentence for the other side, because the other side knows that they can outact Yon. And in this case, Yon stepping in for this Tengaku pick, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I actually agree with that as well, because on a map like this as well, we're kind of expecting a lot of misses and fairly low combos across the board, so having Young's accuracy in this situation could make a very, very big difference for South Korea. I mean, Young definitely has the potential to hold a combo very similar to one of the players on the side of Taiwan. Yeah. So as long as Young is able to do something like that and hold that high accuracy as well, that could be the difference maker that South Korea needs, especially with Pring being the monster that Pring is. Flask and Rucker as well, they're on the other side. Even South Korea even has 5 at Gomo. It's
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing what I'm seeing on Rucker?
Rucker with Hidden?
Rucker with Hidden!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let's do this. I'm guessing this is going to be how it goes. First tiebreaker of the weekend. Yep. Rucker on Hidden. This is going to be Tengaku. And he's
Rucker's starting out with a little bit of an accuracy drop, but then I just kind of expected Score V2 on a map like this.
Score V2. It's a long
57%.
sliders, but I mean,
But it's
it's
okay.
a long map.
Yeah, that'll change. That's bound to pick up over time.
Everyone's holding low accuracies, which is fairly expected. And here we go into this first lead-up section.
Yeah, we could potentially see a miss on this, but it's really, really important for the players to hold combo if they can, because this is actually one of the few easier sections, but Gomo dropping there as well.
Oh yeah, but Realcom also responding with his own drop. This is what we're talking about, like just a matter of like not biting the bullet. This is what you want to just hold the combos, even if they're just fragmented. Any bit of fragmented combo will count.
Shit, missing on the first back and forth. Firebat as well, also missing on one of those back and forths. Yang dropping there. So far, Rucker and Fast still holding onto a full combo against Pring, but again, this is the Pring carry. Can Fast and Rucker hold on for as long as they need to? Ranya Kumo is having a little bit of trouble bringing back a combo. A drop from Pring though! Flask and Rucker are holding onto it! There'll be no full combo coming in from Pring this time on a tiebreaker.
Oh, but I think that's already a pretty good lead he gave to South Korea. As you see that Taiwan will be struggling to close that even with Rucker holding the FC. But we do see that Global Cyber on the other side holding a 400 plus combo. Now he has recovered and he's looking to be the next Pring for his team.
Yang is actually stepping up here. I mean, you have Gomo and Yang pretty much holding the same score, just because Yang's accuracy is sitting at 98 right now, in comparison to Ranya Kumo on the other hand with an 87.
Yeah, accuracy will speak volumes when combos are low across the board. I mean, this is what happened last year with, 2 years ago with Furious Melodia.
Rucker dropping that combo. Oh my goodness, I was getting Flask and Rucker mixed up for a second there. That's just how exciting tiebreaker is.
FC! I mean, not FC, the high combo. And going to the first quarter section. Here we go into the fast back and forth. Yang missing there, of course, well expected, but Pring manages to combo through that.
Oh my goodness, the difference is so huge at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, on that section as well, the misses back and forth, we're actually seeing the scores go backwards for just a little bit there.
Yeah, because on Score V2, when you miss, you wind up like taking penalty for that miss in form of deduction in score, which is not unseen in Score V1. And here we see the Pring once again in the driving seat.
Pring, oh my goodness, 700 combo, pretty much matching what Rucker started out with.
Yeah,
Yang on
he's
the other
going to
hand,
be there to just counter Rucker and Flask all by himself.
But Pring dropping
and
there.
As we said, yeah. No, Kano, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this map finishes with like a long stream, is it?
Yeah, it's a relatively long and fast stream. There is
long and fast. There's a fail potential, maybe.
There is a tiny little bit of fail potential if the players are somewhat nervous and maybe, I guess, their left hand doesn't really cooperate with them. But it's very, very unlikely for players of this caliber. Although
I would say so. Also,
there is a chance. There is a chance of it happening.
Yeah, there's a chance. But then again, right now South Korea seems to be so much comfortable with a lead of 300,000 plus. Going into the final quarter of the map, we're already this far off, and it seems like South Korea will be just inching this one back home.
Pretty much all of the players on the side of South Korea are fairly balanced in terms of their scores. You have 280 or 290,000 down to 225,000, whereas you have very, very widespread scores on the side of Taiwan. You have Rucker coming in with 260,000, and then not a single other player besides Flask slowly but surely coming up to 200,000, but Ranya Kumo is just not having a good time on this at all.
Yeah, nonetheless, here we go into the final chorus before we leading up to the final section. Is where things get really just straight up gruesome.
Something to note as well, though, that even if one of the players from the side of South Korea fails, this one may still go to them.
The score difference is
just
so
because
wide.
the score difference. It would have to be Yang failing at the end. That is the only chance that Taiwan have, unless two players from South Korea fail right at the end here. And it's coming up the long stream. Are the fingers going to cooperate?
I think everyone's going to be able to pass this. And they do.
So far,
my god.
South Korea showing an insane performance on that. Yang coming in with a 400,000 score.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But also well expected. GG to Taiwan and congratulations to South Korea. Yet another match well played. Oh my god.
So close overall, bringing that one to 7-6. But yeah, very strong performance from both Pring and Young there, as well as Rucker, all holding a 700 combo at some point throughout the map. Young with the best accuracy in the entire lobby. Firebat also coming in with 95.87, so that was a very, very nice run.
That was way too unexpected. You know, like Tengaku coming up. Overall, this is just a very close match. Taiwan giving South Korea a run for their money, definitely. And
Yeah.
I think Taiwan has every reason to be proud of their achievement this year. South Korea saw what Taiwan could do here, and they tipped their hat because Taiwan is a very well-respected opponent. And yeah, tiebreaker here, well-deserved for South Korea and Taiwan.
Yeah, the players showing their respects to each other. I mean, we said before that we didn't really expect Young to perform as well as he did, but the accuracy and the combo also coming in there, that was a huge difference.
Yep. And of course, time we bid farewell to the players for now. And up next, we have another match